Night. We're starting down to the bottom right hand side with the blue Zerg player. This is Eonblu. And to the top left hand side, our red Terran player is Cass. So so we've decided that the next few series we're going to do Eonblu versus Cass, Cass versus Hellraiser, and Cass versus Euthermal. I think that's pretty much all the matches we're going to do, or thereabouts, probably. We're going to leave the last two and just announce the results of those. So, at least that's the current plan. That might change. I'll let you guys know if it does. Depends on how long the matches are and how long we've been going for and stuff like that. So yeah. I always read the 1 as a T. Weren't you just trained at birth to read the 1 as an I? Like, I mean, how do you ever read a 1 as a T? That just doesn't make any sense to me. 1s aren't T's, they're I's in every situation. That's why you type 1337 for loot. Reaper pops out, and we'll be heading across the map here in the start of this TvZ. Few Zerglings heading up to the top side of the map. Yeah, replay pack is available, guys, for these games that will be going up in the next couple of days, but also we already have the Korean server groups. Replay pack is available over on the subscriber channel on Discord, so do check that out. About 100 replays full of StarCraft 2 action, strategies, and builds. It's one of the best replay packs to learn from in StarCraft 2. Just because they're so full of units. Eonblu here opening with a very fast Roach Roar, and so is looking to get very aggressive in the very early stages. A couple of Lings there nibbling away on the SCV, which takes a little bit of damage here at the start. So SCV taking some hits as a Roach and a few Ravagers coming out, obviously. I mean, he's morphed these in at home, which is intriguing. Usually you start walking them across the map and then you warp them in, because does he know they're not going across the map? Like, it feels like he's forgotten about them almost. Like, you want those Ravagers across here ASAP, and they've just been kind of sat at home, not really doing much at all. Eonblu will continue towards the upper left-hand side then. And those Ravagers coming along as that Reaper is able to get a couple of shots off already. A couple of Zerglings very nearly getting the Reaper kill, and Cass has got a couple of Hellions, but not too much to really work with here. In fact, Cass is basically nothing to really work with here, as we have the first 4 Ravagers. They're going to go for the Corrosive Piles onto the Reactor there to begin with, but he also gets rid of the Supply Depot. Reactor will now go down. I mean, starts to build up a Marauder here, as Eonblu should be able to get a lot of damage done, actually. We'll continue to fight this factory. I like it, actually. Just get rid of the factory, stop factory production. Currently, Supply Block means the Starport cannot build the Viking, which it wants to. Corrosive Piles the Starport. I kind of feel, I mean, I guess the Starport is a good target. Marine goes down. But I feel like the Starport is not a bad target at all, really, because it's, I guess you can, then get a Banshee out or something with it. The SCV's got a decent surround, though. First of these Ravagers falls as Eonblu continues to kite backwards. 5 workers killed. Feels as though you can get so much more to them. Don't back away. No, don't back away. Get up here. There's so much potential for damage right now. Like, Cass is terrified of this push continuing. Eonblu just, I mean, I get it. He probably goes back home, he takes some on, builds the 3rd hatchery, etc. But you have to be as fast as possible with that, because he lost out on a chance to really kill a few extra units here, while there was less Marauders and all the rest of it on the map. And this is a build where you need to get as much as you can to really come out in an advantage. As we do see the 8 SCVs killed here at the moment. Another Corrosive Pile misses a couple of Marauders which are wandering around. The Viking of Cass going to be moving out onto the map. Banshee with Cloak on the way up as well. Factory coming down in the main base, and we are going to be seeing the 3rd hatchery from Eonblu. It's just about halfway done. Reaper and 2 Marauders just sitting outside the front of the natural here, as we do see that Viking from Cass also coming over to the right-hand side. Fed hatches continue to come up. 7 more roaches being built. Eonblu with Ling speed finished, and I wonder if he just goes for another wave of aggression here. A big roach Ling attack. Start moving across the map with the roaches, and then you come in with the Zerglings as reinforcements. That was actually pretty nice. Corrosive Bars gets this Viking very low. We'll try and intercept it, but Cass will avoid, which is not all too difficult. Corrosive Bars hitting a moving target is pretty difficult to do. Viking moves all the way around. Viking comes over and is just going to be picking off this Overlord. So Overlord will fall as Ravager gets picked off. Roaches still moving in towards the upper left side. I mean, with a Banshee out now, this really is going to start to be a bit of an easier defense. I don't like it, actually, because in general, I feel like you did a good amount of damage before. Now you kind of go for the follow-up to try and end the game, but obviously in a situation like this, your opponent's going to make a Banshee. I feel like if the Marauder's already up, you're going to be able to deal with the Roaches a lot more easily than you usually would. And, you know, I guess because he killed the factory, maybe it's a decent idea, more so than usual. Overall, though, you can kind of see it's just not getting that much damage done at the moment. And I mean, 7 workers down now. Obviously, it costs him a lot more than 7, 10 workers. I mean, okay, 10 workers now. Let's see what he gets before I comment any further. I think it's just going to be 10, though. He lost a lot more than 10 workers of his own by building into those units. I mean, that was a lot of units that Eonblu just lost out. And what did Cass lose? A couple of Marauders that are really just there to help him defend. A couple of Hellions, like nothing important, right? Like no big units, and you know, Eonblu lost a lot. So I actually don't mind that so much for Cass. I actually think that goes pretty well for him, especially on triple CC. The workers that he lost rebuild pretty fast. Instead, imagine Eonblu just kind of built up a whole bunch of drones. Not only would he have those drones faster and the economic lead faster as well, he also would have just straight up had the units still alive and the money you put into the units, the gas you put into those units as an army now as well. Which means that right now, when he is going to have a bit of trouble dealing with Banshees and so on, he could have already had a lair. And he would have been able to neglect this sort, you know, stop this sort of damage from happening. And so, that would have all helped out. And as you see, those couple of Banshees head into the main. Queen of the Spore Crawler will be able to help deflect there. A couple of drones being targeted down still. 10 workers killed off here at the moment as, again, those Banshees pushed back. And they're going to end up going up this right-hand side. Queen's getting some good damage done as Banshees will turn back around and we'll go for another couple of drones. Yeah, well, they should go for another couple of drones, but in the end, they end up flying in towards a Spore Crawler. And that wasn't really the best way to go out. Well, 10 workers killed, though, is obviously very good damage by Cass. And it's the sort of damage he needs to get back into the game a little bit, as he is currently continuing to produce Banshees. 2 more already up with another in production. Eonblu will go into that Spire. Melee upgrades as well, though. Feels as though he doesn't maybe know that the feels like he maybe doesn't know that this is mech coming up, because melody upgrades, Spire, none of that really points towards kind of dealing with mech very well. I mean, mutas can work against mech, but Queen gets picked off. The Bane Nest is on its way up. Again, melee upgrades still coming through. Roach speed coming down as well. And Bane speed. And just all these upgrades starting to get going. A few more Zerglings on the way out here from Eonblu, so just getting started with some of those. Again, I mean, those Hellions have got blue flames, so those Lings are going to start melting a little bit faster. The Cyclones come in as well. Going to start putting on quite a lot of pressure here. Lings get a good surround on one of those Hellions. Another Hellion as well. Getting surrounded, but then the Lings are dead at that point. So, kind of feels like Eonblu is in a lot of trouble here as Cass comes across the map with these units and just does so much. Because again, it doesn't really feel like the Lings and Banes. I mean, the Lings and Banes just don't do very well against this set of units. Let's just put it like that. It is that simple. I mean, if this was Roaches as well, probably would have had a much better time. As it stands, well, I mean, he cleans it up, but you guys saw how much was lost. Definitely not pretty. Bane speed still coming up here. Looking to finish soon as a few Lings will trickle their way in towards this mineral line. A few SCVs already starting to go down, so Multiple workers being picked off here. Banshees coming back up to the top. Roaches going to be able to pick away at here as, I mean, again, the Banshees are a pretty good defense in a situation like this one, so Cass holds on without much done on the counter-attack, and, well, meters on the way up, though. That will be the next challenge from Cass. What can he do to deal with these meters, and how much can Eonblu do with the Mutalisks? Should be fairly interesting. More mules just dropping down in this mineral line here in the forward position. Mules coming back over to the left-hand side. So here they go, flying in, going to grab one SCV and two and three. 3 SCVs going down already. Then the Cyclones lock on. The Cyclones actually pretty effective at pushing back these mutas when they're in lower numbers. If the mutas were in higher numbers, it's a little bit more difficult to do to kind of make that work, but this works quite nice, and he gets a couple of muta kills. 6 workers going down. Sense Tower going to come up on the top side of the map. There's a gang going to prod forwards and see what's up. Couple Hellions, few Cyclones still coming in. Cyclones again getting a couple of these meters, man. Those meters just keep bleeding off at the moment. Hellions and Cyclones still pressing forwards. The Roaches will go down, and in a situation where Eonblu is really not in too pretty of a position. I mean, going into the Roaches is definitely going to help, right? But it feels like there's already been just a lot done by Cass in the game. But this is nice. I mean, he's catching a few of these units. Somehow still doesn't get those couple of Cyclone kills. Cyclone still firing away. A couple more Roaches going down. Smart Servos coming up from Cass as well. Starport, another one just going to jump over towards that tech lab. So still going to keep up with the Banshee production. And this is the biggest issue about what Eonblu is doing. He hasn't got any actual anti-air. I mean, you can't just rely on... I mean, I guess he's got a couple of meters. So I guess for now those meters will kind of get the job done. But I guess also not if there's going to be no Overseer. Now the meters go down to the Cyclones. And oh my god, Eonblu is just bleeding off units at the moment as we see Cyclones and Banshees just continue to come across here. Roaches just keep on getting picked off. More Roaches of Eonblu coming up through the center of the map. Heading all the way up to this top side. Couple more Cyclones picking off those Roaches here. And again, these Banshees also out in the middle still just looking to go and respond to that. I mean, the Sensor Towers, this one just went down, but Sensor Towers allowing Cass to know where he needs to move those Banshees to, know where he needs to defend. Roaches continuing to drop down. Good pickoffs. Cyclones and Hellions moving into the middle. A couple of these Crypt Humans getting picked off once again as well, so a little bit of damage done as Cass continues to press forwards. A few of these Roaches now from Eonblu, they're going to try and respond, but again, it is going to be difficult. As, well, a few Banshees from Cass coming in towards the upper right-hand side, and will then drop down towards this hatchery. All these Roaches on this left side are going to be working their way through the command center, and again, making some decent progress there. Again, Cyclone lock-ons are pretty good at the moment. Some abducts in as one Cyclone, 2 Cyclones going down. Cyclones still locked on to a bunch of these Roaches at the moment. So Roaches taking quite a lot of damage. As you see, again, just these Cyclones, at this point, it just feels like these Roaches are never taking a good fight against them, in that they can't really seem to find a good fight. Even with Blinding Clouds and so on there, just nothing happening. Now suddenly the Banshees show up. I mean, the anti-air is literally potentially parasitic bombs. The Vipers don't even have energy though, so it doesn't even matter. And the Banshees are just going to be left here to pick off this hatchery as the Cyclones just run away and keep on kiting those Roaches, which are going down 1 or 2 at a time. And Tunneling Claws is about to finish up. Again, that hatchery did fall. And those Roaches Still just chasing those little cyclones away. Couple more lock-ons. And Muse will come back in. And again, those Banshees can continue being picked off. There's the GG. Cass takes game 1 of this. Not only did he not succeed with the all-in, but he also just let himself take too much damage to the Banshees after that. And, you know, Banshees just cleaned up so much because he didn't have any Hydras or anything on the map. Bottom left is Eonblu. Top right is Cass. Game 2 of this best of 3. Slow day today, guys. I don't know what we did a month ago. I thought I wasn't streaming a month ago because I was pretty sure that my sub count wasn't going to drop at all for the next few days still. And then today it's dropped like... We dropped like 5 subs in the course of the stream, which is not fun. Yeah, my sub count is just not doing well at all. I don't know what to say. Like, every time we start to do well, we just start to drop again. It's bonkers, actually. I don't know what to do. We gotta think up some cool stuff for subs or something to encourage people to support, because I don't know, we just can't seem to get back to where we were at, which is not good. We're doing worse than we were doing this time last year, which is really concerning. So, to the drawing board we will go. Try and figure some stuff out. If you're enjoying the stream, do you remember to hit that follow button, of course. Of course, if you do subscribe, you do get replay packs and more. You become an esports hero because you help events like this one happen. Reaper on the way up. Here from Cass, getting this going. It's just a Reaper expand to get going on Automaton. We'll keep an eye on Eonblu, who was obviously the player to initiate the aggression in game number 1, and will be the same again here if this pool first a few early Zerglings. I'm going to be heading in towards the upper right hand side. So a few Lings heading in towards the upper right. Reaper just sitting at home though. And the Overlord sees this, so those Lings are not going to show themselves. If the Reaper stays at home, it's very unlikely that the Lings will be able to do any damage, so you basically just have to keep them hidden. Maybe you can use them, okay, they're across the map, you can get them to scout or something. Third hatchery. Drops in from Eonblu down to the south, so going straight up to the third base here, and with the third base we're going to be seeing the command center on the natural finishing. Lings will come in now and maybe just try and sneak a kill on that SCV. Again, just as the Reaper moves out, it's their best chance to get some damage done. Couple go up towards the high ground. Not going to really get much done though. The Hellions are about to show up, and those Lings will get taken down. Oh, SCV stopped kiting around though. Oh, run SCV, run! SCV is good. For a moment, the SCV just kind of stopped walking, so it took a lot more damage than it should have done. But it is kept alive. Those Lings doing what they can, but it's not very much. Overlord of Eonblu going to hop in towards the main base. See what's going on. 6 more Zerglings on the way up. Baneling Nest going to drop down as well from Eonblu in the natural expansion. So getting that down, as we also see 6 Zerglings just going to be finishing up. Baneling Nest from Eonblu also just set up here on the natural. Banshee going to be finishing up in a moment or so, and Cass with a few Hellions and a Reaper going to start heading across the map to apply just a little bit of pressure here. Obviously Cass has had to sit a little bit back with those Zerglings up until now. He continues to build Hellions as well, Cass. Going into the Cloak Banshees. We may see an armory brought in to get some Hellbats going as well. If he goes for any more Hellions than he already has, then it's almost a given, but he could just stop here. 8 Hellions with the Banshees is a fairly good number to kind of stop and go in towards 3rd CC, go in towards extra 2 racks, and set up in towards bio players, so that's also still a switch up that's got potential as the first Banshee takes a beating off those Queens. Good play by Eonblu, bringing those first few Queens forwards right from the get-go, and boom, having them in position to push that Banshee back. Banshee gets a couple of shots off as Overlord going to be moving towards the natural. Lair starts up here from Eonblu as well in the main base. So again, that Lair going. See another couple of Hellions just going to be finishing up very soon. Command Center dropping down over in the third. And so the Banshee still pressing forwards and now going to be able to get a little bit more damage done again. Hellions continue to run in and they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. The Hellions actually kiting back very nicely. Felt like this was a good little attack from Cass, honestly. He's still making Hellions and Banshees with a third CC now coming up, so it looks like we might continue in towards a similar start to what we saw in the last game, though there's still no third and fourth gas, so we really need to see that if we're going to see extra factories being brought into play while continuing to support Banshee production. And this mineral line is in trouble. There are some more lings popping out. Hellions in some trouble as those lings will chase, and those Hellions are going to fall. Roach is on its way up. A few more drones being brought in as well. And with a few Hellions from Cass moving out now, they're going to be able to just find, again, a few more Zerglings. Double armory, so it is going to be mech. There's the third and fourth gas. So mech it is out of Cass once more. And this time we'll see what Eonblu does. I mean, the Rotron finishing is a much better sign of things to come for Eonblu compared to what we saw in that last game, right? So that's definitely something to keep in mind. As we do see those queens going to be coming forwards to keep that creep spread pushing forwards as well. Eon Automaton, only a couple of pathways you really need to start getting the creep spread going in to really kind of have good control of the map and where your opponent can attack you from. So making some progress towards that at the moment. Banshee picked off by those couple of queens down on the low ground, and it's just a little bit of a mistake by Cass. No real reason for that Banshee to stick around there. Could have pulled away so easily, but instead just sat back and decided not to do much instead. And we'll see it pops down a changeling. And again, Hellions, Banshees, moving forwards. And seeing where they can go. Hellions make a play here, getting a queen, and again, still going to be supported by Banshees as they continue to come along. A couple of queens going down. Banshees will cloak up, and the roaches taking quite a little bit of damage as well. So these roaches actually taking quite a lot of damage so far. Banshees continue to kite back way over to the right-hand side. And now going to start targeting down this hatchery too. So this hatchery going to take some hits. These queens still coming in. That's a dead Banshee right away. Boom, that Banshee is not coming back. Now the units of Cass will continue to have to back away. Not much more to be done. Overseer in the main base, which for some reason sieged up, we've got no idea why, is going to get taken down, especially as the 4 changes modes. It just blasts its way through that. And the Overseer falls. Eonblu is supply blocked. Equal supplies with Cass, which is not pretty when you're playing against a mech player. He's going to go into an infestation pit, but if his plan is swarm hosts, kind of already maybe feels like it's a bit too late for that one. Maybe just a little bit. We're just going to keep on moving across the map here. Eonblu looking to try and just get a little more done. A couple of Hellions morph into Hellbats. Sensor Tower will drop down at the front. Bottom side of Spore Crawler gets burrowed in on that mineral line, and it's going to be seeing the roaches going to be turned away pretty quickly. Again, Eonblu just cannot find openings. The infestation pit was not for Swarm Host though. He instead goes straight towards the Hive Tech, so going to be aiming for Vipers here. Aiming to bring in just something that can help. Obviously, Vipers are a very reasonable way to go. And as you see those roaches continue to move forwards towards the upper right hand side. Banshee of Cass moving around as well. There's a few Hellions morphing up into Hellbats here. And again, those roaches going to get ready to try and press forwards. Banshee is dealing some hits, so Banshee gets rid of one of the roaches here. On the other side, roaches and Hive just gathered up as well. Hive going to be finishing very soon. And that's really going to be the game changer in the near future. That Hive Tech really could maybe give Eonblu a little bit of a fighting chance. +2 weapons, +2 plating. Both coming into play. Roaches again heading through the top, gonna get taken down quickly by 4s. And the siege tank over in the main base as cannon comes down. Not much is really seen. And those roaches getting picked up again. Here we go. Roaches and Hydras pressing forwards. Straight in towards this 4th base, but not really much going on. 4 more Spank Pros on the way up here from Eonblu. Still getting this set up and ready. See those medevacs loading up as well, as they'll see Hellbats, tanks. All of this starting to push out into the center. Overseers and other units, Roaches and Hydras, coming around the right-hand side as well. Here we go, the push from Cass, which, honestly, I don't see how Eonblu defends this. And you just look at this, and Eonblu just does not have that many units. And Cass has just got, he's just got such a great army. Blinding Cloud kind of lands before the tanks even siege. The tanks are so confident they siege up into it. This Blinding Cloud is actually on top of the Hydras and Roaches, which is just disastrous. So the Vipers don't even really do much here. They buy the shortest amount of time ever. And Cass is just going to be pressing forwards now, and, well, Eonblu, it's not looking good. His Vipers are low on energy. He abducts a 4. Hey, you know what? Abducting a 4, that's nice. It's some damage. It's something. It's an actual kill. But, otherwise, this is still looking a bit trouble. These Queens are just wandering over to the right side. They're going to die. Here come the rest of the units moving forwards. We'll see the Hellbats will drop back down to help support these the rest of this. And again, it's a mech army fighting straggles of Roach Hydra. It's just not going to be going the way of the Zerg player. What's up, Robert Fari? Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Hello, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. Hatchery here on the right-hand side is about to fall. Hatchery, no. Hatchery falls. So Hatchery goes down. I mean, a couple of drones picked off here and there as well. Helene is still pressing forwards. And they actually will morph into Hellbats as they will pick their way through this flank forward. Try and make their way through another tank sieges up. I mean, down this bottom right-hand side, drones are still being chased away in towards the corner here. GG from Eonblu. And that is Cass taking the series 2-0. Eonblu